Hello and welcome to another edition of American Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Ed Foxworth. On this show, we attempt to provide you with insight and examples of success in terms of owning and operating a small business. We're talking today about staying the course. A $14 billion industry, clothing manufacturing in America is dwarfed by global revenue of $300 billion a year. Making his stake to a portion of that income is Montee Holland, owner of the Tayion, T-Fusion, and MT Holland collections. This national designer with an eye on the future for fashion makes him this week's Entrepreneur in Focus. Tell us a little bit about your collection and what it's about.
Well, we have a couple different lines, and the first line being Tayion. That's our foundation line. That's where it all started. That's actually my middle name. And we decided to make a diffusion line of that line, so that's why we called it T-Fusion. And that's more of a price point type of line. It's synthetics, but it's a very nice suit in the same genre as the Tayion suit. Same type of look, just more affordable.
Okay, so we're talking today a little bit about staying the course. Tell us how you got introduced into fashion and menswear, and what some of the challenges have been over the years.
Well, it was certainly not your traditional route. I've always had a passion for fashion, and as a young man, I just didn't know how I would get into it because I didn't see it where I grew up, you know. And I had an opportunity to visit some places over in Asia as a Marine, and there I had an opportunity to make some things for myself. Didn't know I was designing, but I was putting things together on the little, I was in Korea and I was putting together things from the vendors on the side of the road, you know, just put it in this fabric, put these types of buttons on it and make it this length and this type of lapel, not realizing at 17, 18 that I was designing. Well, long story short, I ended up making all these great pieces for myself, got a lot of feedback from them, and from there, once I got out of the Marine Corps, I started to utilize my contacts and make pieces for guys that I knew. Right. And that's pretty much how I got into it. But how I started to ship to stores was I decided one day just to step out on faith and leave my job, very good job, and go to the Magic Show in Vegas, which is the largest apparel trade show in the country. Went to the show not knowing what to expect, not knowing how to price the product, and we sold probably pretty close to $1 million in 2 days. Big difference between selling $1 million and having $1 million.
No question.
So I quit my job a little bit prematurely, and had to figure out a way to bring those orders to life. And
so obviously there became some challenges that you were confronted with. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Huge challenges. Again, I didn't know how to source the fabric. I didn't know how to produce the product. I didn't know how to ship it, invoice it, get it out of the container when it got here, none of that. So what I had to do was hook up with some guys who are already in the industry, have them make it, bring it over, warehouse it, invoice it, ship it, the whole deal. And you know, I met some guys through a celebrity who was launching his line, and he saw my line and he really liked my line and wanted me to get his line up to where my line was. So he presented me with a pretty good opportunity, help him with his line in exchange for him introducing me to the guys who could get my line out. They got my line out, the line sold, and we were off.
The rest is history, as they say.
The rest is history, but that was the beginning of the challenges because I didn't know the industry. I was just excited to have my product out there in stores across the country. And, you know, I tell you, I wouldn't have it any other way, but there was some tough years there. I didn't know the business side of it. You know, you can have the hottest product in the world, but until you know the business of this world, it's meaningless. You know, these guys, you know, for lack of a better term, and they tore me up. They were tearing me up.
Is that right?
In terms of, we were selling a lot of units, making a lot of money, so I thought, and it wasn't coming to me. Let's just put it that way. Yeah.
Okay. And so now as you look at the business and you understand that putting this suit in the hands of people who really want to feel good, is it just about the suit or do they get a little bit more?
They get a lot more. Our suit is not just about the suit. My tagline is, well, the Renaissance man meets the Millennium man. What I mean by that is, it's a broad demographic. It's for the white collar, the blue collar, the Marine, I'm a veteran, the military, the pulpit, the attorney, you know, the fashion forward physician. It's a little bit of everybody, and now we're transitioning into mainstream contemporary suits. So, you know, your traditional black, brown, gray, two-button. You know, we're just putting a little bit of twist on it. So it's a broad demographic. We like to call ourselves the gentlemen. Back when guys would go to work in a suit, come home, take that suit off, put another suit on to go out and play. I want to kind of bring that time back.
What do you think are some of the secrets to staying the course, to grinding it out, to really being an entrepreneur in an industry and deciding that this is what you want to do and you're going to do it no matter what?
Well, first and foremost, you have to have faith. You obviously have to have a lot of faith, because without faith, you know, it's meaningless. It means nothing. It's his show. We're just trying to, you know, follow the script as best we can. That's number one. But number two, you have to couple that with a lot of hard work and a lot of conviction. Learn as much as you can about the business that you want to get into. And once you do that, you're still going to have some hurdles, but you'll at least know how to thwart some of those things or deal with them once you are faced with it. But you certainly have to have discipline, you have to have conviction and passion. And if you're passionate about what you do, you know, you won't have any regrets, and ultimately, you'll find yourself moving forward and getting to your goal.
Fantastic. Tell us some of the stores that you're located in. I know you've got a number of different lines. Mm-hmm. Where can people find your selection?
Well, we're in a couple of hundred stores across the country, but here locally you can find us in all of the K&Gs. You can find us here at Motown Suit Warehouse. You can find us over at Van Dyke's, Sermons, Suit Warehouse, which is right there on Greenfield. So there's a lot of stores here in Michigan where you can find the product.
Excellent. So final thought that we really want to kind of drive home for people. You are trying to expand this business, and it's not just America.
Yes. You know, we have some very exciting things happening. We've been invited to participate in South Africa's Fashion Week. So we're going to South Africa to participate in their Fashion Week in October in hopes of, you know, getting Cape Town, Johannesburg, ultimately moving over to Nigeria and selling that continent. We have a new deal that we just struck in Istanbul, Turkey, and I'm going to be their bridge to the United States. They'll be my bridge to Saudi Arabia, to Europe. So we'll be shipping to, I don't know, 20 or so countries in those different areas.
Fantastic.
So it's really exciting.
How big is this industry?
This industry is huge, and there's no one company that has more than a 5% share in it, so it's wide open. It's wide open for the taking. So we think that we can kind of shimmy in there and get our little piece of the pie.
Well, we certainly wish you the best as you go forward, and want to stay in touch with you as you continue to expand into other markets. Final thoughts that you'd like to leave with any entrepreneur in terms of being at a crossroad, not really knowing which way to go, what to do. You mentioned faith and passion. What though do you want to leave them with?
I like to say, I have a little saying that I always tell, you know, my mentees and anybody I run across when they're running into things that are not in their comfort zone. There's no comfort in the growth zone, no growth in the comfort zone. Make yourself uncomfortable every day and you'll find yourself growing. If you're uneasy doing something, do a little bit more. You become less uncomfortable and you're growing. So I say that to all the people who feel a little bit uncomfortable and feel like they're at a place where they don't know exactly what's going to happen. It's okay. You'll be all right. The sun will come up the next day. So keep moving forward.